Watch this video, my people.
The embattled Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kayri, remains the top trend on social media. On Thursday, the Police Service Commission suspended an Assistant Commissioner of Police, Sunday Ubua, and an Assistant Superintendent of Police, James Bauer, who both worked under Kayri in the intelligence response team in the Nigerian police force. The men were alleged to be involved in the current cocaine seizure and transferred to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Their suspension is said to have become effective from Monday, February 14th. Well, in the meantime, a report by the Daily Trust quotes Abba Kayri as saying that members of the indigenous people of Biafra and the Eastern Security Network are behind his travails. The disgraced Deputy Police Commissioner reportedly made the claim when he appeared before a probe panel led by the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Joseph Ebunike, at the force headquarters in Abuja. Kayri claimed that the group orchestrated a smear campaign against him on social media because of the onslaught launched against them in the Southeast. I thought I've heard everything, but this one was quite hilarious. IPOB and the ESN orchestrated a smear campaign against you. We've heard so many other people talk about how, their issues come to the limelight, but this one is strange to me.
I mean, did IPOB tell him to hop in a car and allegedly plan a drug deal? I'm quite baffled. Well, for me, the subtext there is that there's something quite sinister afoot. We all know, since we're black people, how black people are often suspects, how we're looked at with suspicion. And now this is becoming an emergent trend for Igbo people. You referred to that article recently, and I went and read it by Donu Kogbara about Igbophobia.
What have Igbos done?
Yes, so this is a dog whistle right there.
Yeah.
We're used to racist dog whistles, but this for me is an ethnic dog whistle. You're talking about IPOB as the bogeyman. Anything that's bad that's happened, it's got to be them. So we've often talked about the marginalization of the Igbos, but now we're seeing demonization and criminalization.
Yes.
So what he has said, and a dog whistle is always to appeal to certain people. We all know what that means. So what he has said for me is a lot weightier than it initially appears. It sounds something ridiculous you just reject, but it speaks to a much darker undertone about the current reality in Nigeria right now with regards to tribalism. And this must not be encouraged. It must be completely rejected. People should not reach for Igbos as their convenient whipping boy. It's just really quite distasteful, quite frankly. And with regards to the people, the officers who were suspended, I don't know, I really would urge the police to maybe have a look at their rules, because what does it take to be summarily dismissed from the police force? I really want to know. Because we know that Abba Kayri was on suspension and he was still, making deals all over the place. Suspension doesn't seem to really do much, but I guess we all have to be patient. They've been suspended pending further action, which includes criminal prosecution. But I just think for the sake of the police, some people just need to be dismissed immediately from the force.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, first, the DCP and the ACP who have been placed on suspension, there were 2 of the 4 other officers working under Abba Kayri who were said to have been arrested along with him 3 days ago. Now, 2 of them have been placed on suspension, and I think they've been placed on suspension by the Police Service Commission, pending the next round of investigation.
Yes.
Because this is in connection with the accusations, the allegations by the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency. So while the investigation and the interrogation by the police and the NDLA continues, they've placed them on suspension. Then my question is, 4 persons were arrested along with them. What has happened to the 2 other officers? Why were they also not suspended? Because 3 days ago, we were told 4 officers were arrested, at the instance of the NDLA, along with Abba Kayri. That's one. The second one has to do with the fact that the panel report that is out there, the Egbunike panel report, DIG Egbunike, resolved that Abba Kayri is guilty of using social media, and hence, on the basis of that, he should just be demoted from the position of a deputy commissioner of police to an assistant commissioner of police. Now, nobody is impressed by that. Observers, commentators see it as a slap on the wrist.
Absolutely.
As an attempt by the police hierarchy to cover up one of their own. The other part of it that they said was that, oh, he was cavorting and socializing with persons he should not be associated with as a law enforcement officer. And that he has violated police ethical professional rules. Okay? In both instances, both the panel and the Police Service Commission, they are quoting what they call public service rules. Maybe this particular Kayri and others case should compel us to take a second look at the public service rules. Maybe those public service rules have become obsolete. Maybe they are not in line with reality. That's one assumption that we can take from there. But whatever it is, there should be no cover-up. On the issue of Abba saying, oh, his travels should be traced to IPOB and the Eastern Security Network. Well, Professor Kemi Rochime, a leading scholar on police affairs in Nigeria, who has done a book on policing in a federal state, the Nigerian experience, made it very clear that, in fact, that is totally beside the point. He even went as far as abusing the journalists who carried the story. But because he's my friend, I allowed him to get away with that. Because I don't like people teaching journalists how to do their job. Okay? But he had a point that, look, if you're a police officer, part of your job is to arrest people, is to engage people. Okay, what are we dealing with here? Occupational hazard? Every occupation has its own hazards. Even if it is IPOB and an ESN coming after him because he was involved in combating crime and criminality in the southeastern part of the country. That is not an excuse. You cannot blame IPOB. You cannot blame ESN. And it is good that the Ebunike panel, we're told, thought that that defense was very watery. I think every reasonable person out there will also think that that defense is watery. What are the questions that were being asked? Did you collect money through Oshwapi and pass the money through your brother into a certain account?
That's it.
Up to 249 million naira. Are you a tailor to Oshwapi, who has been indicted somewhere? Tailoring services, is that part of the functions of the policeman defined in the Nigerian Police Act? How did a high-ranking favorite of the Inspector General of Police become a part-time tailor?
Super cop.
A law enforcement officer.
Tailor.
Now going from one designer to the other to sew clothes for indicted persons. These are the questions. How did you end up in a nightclub dancing to Obamamba? Or what is that?
You want to bam bam?
Yeah. These are the issues, you know, on the table. But the man says it's IPOB, which is a very typical thing in Nigeria. People
Very
always
unfair.
play the ethnic
Very
game.
unfair. Very unfair.
A man will misbehave. You say, oh, they are victimizing me because I'm from a certain part of the country. No. We should focus on the issues, and we don't want to hear that it is IPOB. Is it IPOB that collected money on his behalf? Is it IPOB that introduced him to Oshwapi? Oshwapi is not an Igbo man. Oshwapi, Ramon Abbas, he's a Yoruba man. So why is he talking about IPOB? So I think, you know, as the story develops, we should resist the attempt.
Absolutely.
You know, to play the ethnic game, which is the usual card that Nigerians play. Nobody is convicting him on television. You know, he should have his day in court. He should be treated fairly. Due process must be followed. If at the end of the day, he comes out of it clean, yes, fine. That would be his right. But to come and start playing the ethnic card so early, no.
Well said, Dr. Bati.
Thank you so much, my wonderful viewers, for watching this video together with me from the beginning to the end. Like I said before, if you like what you see here, if you like what I do in this platform, as you have finished watching this video, please hit that red button that says subscribe and put on your notification bell to all notifications. In that way, you'll be able to know when I upload a new video. Share my videos, leave your